Hi everybody. So I would like to do some cover poems today. Two short ones and one that's a little bit longer. And the first two here, just for fun, from Ogden, Nash. And this is actually this copy here is inscribed to my grandfather Robert. Love, Mom and Dot, Christmas 1956. So the first poem is The Llama. The 1L Llama, he's a priest. The 2L Llama, he's a beast. And I will bet a silk pajama there isn't any 3L Llama. Number 2 from Mr. Nash, who's got a lot to answer for. This one is, My Daddy. I have a funny daddy who goes in and out with me, and everything that baby does, my daddy's sure to see. And everything that baby says, my daddy's sure to tell. You must have read my daddy's verse. I hope he fries in hell. So the third one, it's a bit longer, but it's hopefully not too long. And by another, one of my favorite curmudgeons, Ezra Pound. And this is one of my favorite poems. I'm not going to read the cantos, but this is one of my favorite poems ever. Also, Ezra, of course, was a master of many languages, and he often mixed languages in his poems, including this one. And to my embarrassment, I'm only fluent in California English. So if any of my pronunciations or anything's bad, please give me some slack. This is Contemporary Manners. One, Mr. Styrax. Mr. Hecatome Styrax, the owner of a large estate and of large muscles, a blue and a climber of mountains, has married at the age of 28, he being at that age a virgin. The term Virgo being made male in medieval Latinity, his ineptitudes having driven his wife from one religious excess to another. She has abandoned the vicar, for he was lacking in vehemence. She is now the high priestess of a modern and ethical cult. And even now, Mr. Styrax does not believe in aesthetics. 2, his brother has taken to gypsies, but the son-in-law of Mr. H. Styrax objects to perfumed cigarettes. In the parlance of Niccolo Machiavelli, thus things proceed in their circle, and thus the empire is maintained. 2, Clara. At 16, she was a potential celebrity with a distaste for caresses. She now writes to me from a convent. Her life is obscure and troubled. Her second husband will not divorce her. Her mind is as ever uncultivated, and no issue presents itself. She does not desire her children or any more children. Her ambition is vague and indefinite. She will neither stay in nor come out. 3, Sore. Upon learning that the mother wrote verses, and that the father wrote verses, and that the youngest son was in a publisher's office, and that the friend of the second daughter was undergoing a novel, the young American pilgrim exclaimed. "This is a darned clever bunch." 4. Sketch 48B11. At the age of 27, its home mail is still opened by its maternal parent, and its office mail may be opened by its parent of the opposite gender. It is an officer and a gentleman and an architect. 5. Notaire raconte. 1. At a friend of my wife's there is a photograph, a faded pale brownish photograph of the times when sleeves were large, silk, stiff, and large above the lacteus, that is the upper arm, and décollé. It is a lady. She sits at a harp, playing, and by her left foot in a basket is an infant aged about 14 months. The infant beams at the parent. The parent re-beams at its offspring. The basket is lined with satin. There is a satin-like bow on the harp. 2. And in the home of the novelist, there is a satin-like bow on an harp. You enter and pass hall after hall. Conservatory follows conservatory. Lilies lift their white symbolical cups, whence their symbolical pollen has been excerpted. Near them I notice an harp, and the blue satin ribbon, and the copy of Hatha Yoga, and the neat piles of unopening books. And she spoke to me of the monarch and of the purity of her soul. 6. Stile. After years of continence, he hurled himself in a sea of 6 women. Now, quenched as the brand of Meleager, he lies by the Pilophosporius sea coast. Parathena Philophysis boiothalasis, Siste viator. 7. Iveki. They will come no more, the old men with beautiful manners. El iate come un tot petit garçon with his blouse full of apples and sticking out all the way round, blagar, con gli occhi onesti e tardi. And he said, "Oh, Abelard," as if the topic were much too abstruse for his comprehension. And he talked about the Great Mary and said, "Mr. Pound is shocked at my levity," when it turned out he meant Mrs. Ward. And the other was rather like my bust of Gautier, or like a real Texas colonel. He said, "Why flay dead horses? There was once a man called Voltaire." And he said, "They used to cheer Verdi in Rome after the opera, and the guards couldn't stop them." And that was an anagram for Vittorio Emanuele Re d'Italia, and the guards couldn't stop them. Old men with beautiful manners, sitting in the row of a morning, walking on the Chelsea embankment. 8. Ritratto. And she said, "You remember Mr. Lowell? He was your ambassador here." And I said, "That was before I arrived." And she said, "He stomped into my bedroom." By this time she had got on to Browning. "Stomped into my bedroom and said, I ask you, do I care too much for society dinners?" And I wouldn't say that he didn't. Shelley used to live in this house. She was a very old lady. I never saw her again.
Okay. Now, I'm
That would be me.
That would be you.
Okay, I'll do a couple of my shorter and simpler poems that have rhymes. Sky high pie. Crazy, silly, funny day. Deep within our hearts we pray. Singing songs that have no words. Hiply talking with the birds. Wrapped up to keep warm in the cool rain of a late spring storm. Sleepy back behind my eyes, less and still less wise. Keep growing, man, and you'll be free to jump off a mountain or climb a tree. Singing songs that have no tune beneath the white light of the moon. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Live your life, for you'll soon die, and join that cosmic sky high pie.
All right. Where's the lies here tonight, folks?
I'll take a slice.
So far, we've laughed in the face of deafness and disruption, dystopia.
We have to.
I guess that makes us certified poets. Okay, so you've recalled me to recall two poems about.
Oh, I get one more, Mo, before you go.
Oh, correct me. I'm so sorry, David.
That's all right. This is my answer to all those fucking bastards who rule the world that we were talking about earlier. The funny face gang.
Oh, them. Okay.
Screaming, gleaming, close at hand, churning, burning in the sand. Forget them, lad, let them hang. Forget the funny face gang. Growing, sowing across the land, moving, grooving contraband. Escape your evil ways, she sang. Escape the funny face gang. Listening, glistening to a band, hearing, cheering each demand. Ignore their blasts. Ignore their bang. Ignore the funny face gang. Biting, fighting, reprimand. Beaming, dreaming, final stand. Deny them all. That last cry rang. Deny the funny face gang. Thank you for giving me the space.
All right.
Them crazy baldies.
Yeah. Fun times.